Okay, I'm going to start. So good morning, everyone. I just came up with this session, which I thought is going to benefit a lot of people. So what I'm going to do in this session is I will be decoding some of the readings that you would commonly hear from a traditional master. Okay, because a lot of times it's like our destiny is not bad. It's just that how we have been told when we're young or when we have did a fortune telling and the fortune teller just tell us, oh, you have this problem in your destiny, your life is not going to be smooth, you're going to have a bumpy ride, you're going to have a bad life, and so on. So messages like this kind of got rooted in our mind, in our belief system, and we start to live our life in a negative manner under the influence of all these negative stories that we have heard, right? And it's really devastating, I would say, because when I was young, I thought that my life was bad because I had a lot of ups and downs, a lot of challenges, a lot of obstacles, even as a young child. So I've always been asking myself, it's like, why am I born in this world? Why do I need to go through all this suffering? And of course, my grandma and my family members have actually went to the traditional masters to ask like kind of have a reading of my life, and the masters were saying, oh, this girl, she's destined to be a nun, and she's here to claim her debt, so she's going to create a lot of havoc, a lot of problems for the parents. So then that kind of affected my childhood and my life as well, because somehow as a human being, when you hear something negative like this, you will kind of have that unconscious reaction. Okay, and this speaks through your action. So as I got older, like I went to see masters as well to understand better. My hope was to understand better as in what I can do in my life. But I'm getting the same reading. I have fortune tellers who tell me, if you want to be successful, you want to be happy, you got to be a prostitute. I was like, oh no, damn. What is this master telling me to be a prostitute? Then a few other masters were telling me, yeah, you just go be a nun. That's what you're destined to be. And that kind of bothered me a lot because at that time I was already married and I had 2 kids. And I need to bring them up. I can't just throw my family aside and just go to the monastery, right? So I started learning metaphysics. I started searching for myself. And my journey in Bazi until today, it all started with soul searching. I was looking for answers for myself. Why is it that the masters are saying I have a bad life? Why is it that the masters are saying that I'm destined to be a nun? Why is it the masters are saying that my marriage is, I'm going to end up with divorce and so on, right? So I got deeper and deeper into Bazi. It's just merely to find answers for myself. Okay. So in my journey, I realized a lot of this readings from the fortune teller. It is not that scary. It's just that we don't understand what it really means. Because when fortune teller speaks to us, they speak in flowery language. Okay, they don't speak in a human term that we can understand directly. So that has caused a lot of confusion in our life. So today I'm going to share this profile. This is a profile at one look at it. Okay, I'm going to do this in the Chinese master way, and I will have this English popping up so that for those who doesn't understand Cantonese, you can refer to the English words. So it starts like this. Looking at this profile, the traditional Chinese master would probably utter these words. 一株無力，四處計 big, which literally means the day master has no strength and all aspects are under pressure. Okay, then the next thing, 一世被害，一世被蝦，苦命，苦命也。So does this sound familiar, right? When you go to traditional masters, this is the intonation that they will tell you about life, and this is how they will bring it up. But if you look at it, it's telling you the day master has no strength, all aspects of your life is going to be under pressure, your whole life is going to be bullied, your whole life is going to be harmed, and he ends it with bitter life, bitter life. So what do you think this message hits on you? You'll feel like, oh no, my life is just so damn bad, right? And a lot of times this is the thing that actually brought us into thinking negatively about ourselves, having low self-esteem, and so on and so forth. And it kind of, magnified the bitterness in our life further. Okay. So hi everyone, I'm Nelly. You can call me Nell. I'm a metaphysics consultant and a life transformation coach. So how I use Bazi is not just a fortune telling tool, but I use it to help people transform life. And I've been studying metaphysics under the JY Academy since 2012. A disclaimer here, most terms and charts that I use belongs to Grandmaster Daru Jowiyak. Let's dive in. So first of all, there's a bullying punishment. And this is exactly what the master is referring to when he said the whole life will be bullied. Then secondly, there is a harm between the ox and the horse. And this brings to that statement that says your whole life will be harmed. And it ends with a bitter life, bitter life. And that's because in this profile, in this chart, there's a spiritual pillar in the year, which is the earth horse. And this spiritual pillar, okay, it brings what I would call karmic baggage. So when I say karmic baggage over here, it doesn't mean that it's your past life. Okay, it just means that in your past experience, it could be in this life that has brought you a lot of pain and suffering. It's because you're just unable to let go and move on, right? So people who have spiritual pillar in their chart, they have this problem of letting go. Okay, somehow they just get attracted to the past, and they have this, I would say, that grudge in them that stops them from moving forward. Okay, let's go deeper into the decoding. So let's look at what it means by the day master has no strength and all aspects is under pressure. So the first thing when you hear this from a master will say that, no, your day master has no strength and all aspects in your life are under pressure. So the first impression that comes to your mind, you will feel that I'm weak. The pressure is all on me. Okay, and this kind of blocks your mental up, thinking that you don't have a choice. All right. So let's look at this profile and what the master is really saying. So if you look at this is a Yi wood profile, not a Yi wood, a Yin wood. And when the master says your day master has no strength, he's not referring to you. He's actually referring to the chart, referring to this element, which is Yi wood, that is representing you as your day master. Okay, for you, the whole chart is you. The day master is just one small part of you, or I would say it's a very important part of you. So when the master says the day master has no strength and all aspects is under pressure, is because in this profile, can see the day master needs to produce and control, okay, the other elements in the chart. And in fact, this chart is actually a strong wood day master with abundance of output and wealth element. And this is a profile of a man with big responsibility. So now if you look at it this way, okay, and you know that this chart is not a weak chart. This person is not a weak person. It's just that he has a lot of responsibility. Okay, does that make you feel better? It makes you feel better, right? Because now you know, oh, actually, I'm not weak. It's just that I have a lot of things that I need to handle in life. Okay, are there still people held out? I think my list is clear. Okay, let's look deeper in the Yi Wood Day Master and what it means. Okay, I regard this profile, this Yi Wood, as the wheat in the Great Plains. You know, it's just like lalang, the weeds that would just linger on in your garden. It just won't go away. You can kill it, you can chop it off, but the next day it comes back again. So this is how I would see this profile to be. Okay, so imagine weeds. They are survivors. They have high tolerance. Okay, they are durable, and also they're resilient. So if come back to think about it, this is not a weak chart. So this individual is not weak at all. Okay, let's dive in further into the characteristic of the Yi Wood. So for a Yi Wood Day Master, you're graceful, flexible, you're adaptable, you have the perseverance, you're conniving, strategies, and parasitic. So what does all this mean? It means that even though you are under pressure, you are still graceful in your demeanor. You are flexible, and I would say you are highly adaptable, okay, to the environment, and you have the perseverance. You can be conniving at the same time. That means you have the strength to go back and influence other people, and you're a strategist, okay. And at worst, what you can do is you can leech on other people. Isn't this a strength? Let's look further into the day master strength, how we define it, okay? So, you know, in the ancient art of Bazi, yeah, in the old text, it actually suggests 3 criteria on how you can determine your day master strength. The first being in location, which is based on the 12 growth cycle. And then the second one in season, which is based on your month, your season of birth. And also the third one is whether is it information of your chart or does it have support? Okay, which is very much similar to looking at the other elements in a chart and whether do you have the resource elements to support the day master, right? So if you look at this chart, this is a strong day master. So you can see there's 3 Yi Wood in this chart. And it's supported by a resource element, controlled by influence element, exhausted by output element, and exerted by wealth element. So this is what it means when the traditional masters say your day master has no strength and all aspects of life is under pressure, because you can see, although this is a strong day master, but there is a lot of wealth element that the day master need to conquer. There's also significant output element that the day master need to produce. Okay, so this is what it means when the traditional master say your day master has no strength and all aspects is under pressure, it's because there is a lot of responsibility, a lot of things that you got to achieve in your life. Okay. So in terms of your whole life being bullied, the master is referring to the bullying punishment that is in this profile, which is made up of the dog, the goat, and also the ox. They respectively in the hour, day, and month pillar. So you can imagine this, yeah? This individual has, let me admit someone. So this individual has this need to produce and control for his people, for his loved ones, for his society, and also at work. But at the same time, he has a bullying punishment. So this is a scenario that keeps him feel that he's always being under pressure. Okay, and also the inability to say no to requests. So let's look at the profile. I call this profile a man with great responsibility. So this profile comes with a strong day master. And being a strong day master, he feels that he has the strength. He's someone who I would say overestimate his ability or his capacity. And in other words, we can also say that he's stubborn, right? Although he's a yeet wood, but being such a strong yeet wood, it can be stubborn. And just imagine the unsolicited weeds that is sprouting out in your garden. You kill them today, but they come back the next day. So this is how yeet wood is, okay? And for this man, he feels that he has the need to produce for his family. Okay, he has the need to provide for his children, and he has the need to feed his desire to achieve his ambition, and so on and so forth. But deep inside, what he's trying to do or his intention is he wants to take control. He wants to control his children. He wants to control and drive his ambition and desire. He wants to control his wife. And also he has this need to control things at work, okay? His colleagues, his boss, and so on. He just wants to be in control. So when your action, you're trying to produce and provide for someone, but internally, your intention is to control, there is a misalignment of actions to your intention. And this brought on to that destruction between the goat and the dog, which gives him a lot of this contention, and it brings with it the commitment issue. So this man has a tendency to overcommit in terms of his dreams, in terms of what he wants to do. But in terms of capacity, he's really stretched because he just has so many responsibilities in his life that he needs to take care of. And to overcome commitment issue, he needs to manage his responsibility. So he will need to look at what is his capacity at this moment of time, and how much commitment he has, and what is the portion that he can deliver within the capacity at this moment of time. So it doesn't mean that now he has a limited capacity and next year or in the next block cycle, he will still be limited by capacity. He can grow that capacity. But it's just at this moment of time, he will need to reassess what is it, because it's giving him pressure, right? Then the next thing, we can see the goat in the day pillar and also the ox in the month pillar has a clash. So what does this clash means actually? This clash, it's what I call a compassion issue. That is, we can see here, this man is trying to, he feels the need, okay, to control like everything in his life. So when someone is trying to control, and he being a Yi wood, he will have this thing like he may be, overly passionate or being overly compassionate. So he just feels like he has the strength to help everyone. Okay. And for this ox and goat clash, it also brings with it stubbornness. So it indicates that this man is stubborn and he could be facing a lot of expenditure issue. And in which area would he face expenditure issue? It's because in one way he's generous. Okay, he wants to produce for his dreams, his children, but at the same time he wants to control. So he might think that if he has the money, he can help. If he has the money, he can be in control. Okay. So having compassion is a kind act. However, when you are being over compassionate, it can actually bring guilt when you get dragged, okay, into other people's suffering and pain. So it will make you like, own up to, I would say, you feel that you're part of the other person's suffering. So with the destruction and clash over here between the goat, the ox, and also the dog, he feels like he's being bullied because he can't say no, right? He's already part of the problem and the pain of the other people around him. And at the same time, like he feels that he has the strength to provide, he has the strength to help other people. Okay. So to summarize it, the bullying punishment in this profile is actually due to his inability in managing the responsibilities in his life according to his capacity. And to keep it short, he just have issue with saying no, right? But on the other side, he can also get support. So you can see the other Yi wood that's in the chart comes within the day pillar. That means internally, he really has that strength to come up. Okay. And also he has the support from the month pillar, another Yi wood over there. And this indicates that when he goes to work or the things he do, the people that he meet at work is supportive. And the resource over here, he has one water, which is under the month pillar, which is also supporting the day master. So when we have a resource hidden in the month pillar that is supporting the day master, it means that this person will find happiness and strength at work. Okay, that's where he gets his inspiration. That's where he feels motivated. So with all these supporting elements in the chart, the other thing he could look at is to share his responsibility. So in other words, it's like, don't be hero when you're zero. There's a lot of work that's got to be done. Work just doesn't finish, right? You get work every other day, responsibility every other day. Share the load. So let's decode the next one, the whole life being harmed. So for here, the whole life being harmed, the master is referring to the ox and also the horse harm relationship between the month and the year pillar. Okay, let's dive into the profile. So in this profile, this man sees the need to control his friends. Okay, this is the action that other people would see him doing, or the perception that other people have that he's doing. But internally, his intention is to produce and provide for his friends. Okay, so in terms in work, he treats his peers like being on par, same level, but in him, his desire is to control. So you can see this is a contention, a misalignment of action and intention. And it brings up, it amplifies this harm relationship between the ox and also the horse. And this is a misunderstood harm. So if you look at that, even himself, he's not clear whether does he want to control, does he want to produce, or is his peers on par with him? Do he want to treat his friends, his colleagues like friends, or does he really want to control the environment so that he can be the taiko, okay, the big brother at work? So the next thing would be the decoding of bitter life. This is due to the year pillar, which belongs to the category of spiritual pillar. So spiritual pillar, it comes with a lot of emotional entanglement. That is, there's something in your past that you're holding on, maybe with grudges as well, that you just can't let go. And the pain has gone so intense that you choose to sweep it under the carpet. Okay, and then you live through life in that way, right? So this brings a lot of unconscious suffering, I will put it, unconscious pain. And it's not due to other people. It's just because you can't let go and you are not willing, okay, to address all these emotions, all these past events that have happened. So hence, you suppress it and you keep it under the carpet. And it will crop up. It keeps cropping up. But every time you have this sense that it's cropping up, you will quickly shut it down again, ignoring the fact that your system, your consciousness and your mind is yelling at you that you need to face all this problem, acknowledge them and move on. Okay. So typically for the earth horse spiritual pillar, it gives this effect like a tunnel vision. So imagine a horse, okay, that just keeps running in front, and the horse can't see anything by the side. What the horse sees is just in front, and that's where my target, and that's where I'm charging towards. So this is the effect of the earth horse spiritual pillar. Okay. So let's look at the other things in this chart here. So for this profile, we can imagine a raging horse rushing into the middle where the cow and also the goats are grazing. Okay, they're happily grazing, peaceful animals. And then we have a racing horse charging in. And at the end of the day, what this man really wants is he just wants a happy life, just like a happy puppy. Okay, but how he see the market, how he see his external circle, okay, his social life out there, is just like an equestrian where everything is a competition. So you see the contention between what he wants to get from the market and also his own thoughts. Let's go to the next one. We will look at his luck cycle. So in his luck cycle over here, this would be what the Chinese master will tell you. 熱火焚心，行自身，月暮見更金，俾人渣。哎呀. So again, when you hear this, like it's telling you the fire is burning up to punish yourself. When the yeet wood meet the gung metal, you will be chopped. Okay, so the first thing you will think of is, oh no, it's going to be bad, right? It feels like you're just going to be burned alive. So what the master is really saying is, in this log pillar, you have the horse. You have the horse coming in, okay? And this horse actually combines with the dog in the natal chart, and it produces more fire. So the day master is a yi wood, and you have more fire. It actually means that the day master needs to work harder. So when there is overproduction of fire, the day master get burned out. Okay, then the next one is like the horse in the log pillar meeting the horse in the natal chart. It creates a self-punishment, and this brings on these, over competitiveness, that the day master, this man would just think of competing with people, and he would see, he will be lacking back or lacking behind if he doesn't charge forward. Okay, and this caused him to punish himself. And in this log pillar, it's a gung metal log pillar, and he himself is a yi wood. So the gung metal actually chops the yi wood, right? And it's just like, you have an axe coming in to chop you off where you are already punishing yourself. So let's dive into the profile. So for this profile, you have the horse meeting up with the horse, and this causes a self-punishment where you become overly competitive, and this builds up on top of your tunnel vision. So you just don't know what you're competing with or what is the competition that you're in, right? It's just like, this fiery horse that's coming in to charge. Then we have the horse bringing a harm to the ox that's in your chart. Okay, so when this harm happens, and with the racing horse coming in, your ox just suddenly wake up and ask what's going on, right? It wakes your horse up. So with all this pressure that's coming in, this man will have a tendency to, employ force tactics, because he's racing, he's running, and he's being competitive, but just with that tunnel vision, he's not able to see opportunities. So to some point, it's like he just keeps charging, but he doesn't know where he's going actually. And also with the harm of the ox just suddenly wakes up and asks, what's happening? What's going on here? How come I don't understand what's going on? So that is the tension that it brings in this luck cycle. So with all this tension going on, and with him having the need to provide for his family and his children, he would employ force tactics. So one thing that comes to his mind would be, whatever it is, die, I just need to go for it. Okay, whatever it is, I just need to win. And he will bulldoze his way. He will just use whatever tactics that comes into his mind, as long as he survives and he can bring food on the table. So the same log pillar over here, the horse combines with the goat. So this combination actually produces more fire, and the fire fuels himself, okay, to do more, but it also burns him out, right? And when the horse meets up with the goat, it becomes like a distraction. It's, see, combo is not always good. Sometimes it can be bad as well. So in this case, it's like he's kind of distracted. So imagine the horse is charging with a tunnel vision all the way to the front. And then here he comes, he met a goat, and his attention is distracted. And his horse is distracted because of the goat. Okay, so the fire that's produced in this combination, it's not only fueling him, firing him up, but it also enhances or amplify his need to be happy. That is in his thoughts, the pink fire. Okay. Then in this log pillar, we have the gung metal combining with the two yi wood in his chart, which is in the day and the month. And this combination produces metal. So it's like whenever we look at it, when there's a combo, it should be good. But in this case over here, since this combination produces metal and metal chops wood, so it's not really that good. But look at it this way, yeah. For a gung metal, the combination of gung metal and yi wood, it brings to this person the sense of righteousness, the sense of justice. So he will feel that he has the need, okay, to stand up to injustice. He has the need to protect his people. He has the need, okay, to fight. And being in a metal lug pillar with all this extensive fire, he just doesn't have that enough capability, okay, to take on so many things on himself. And this caused him to be burned out. So we can imagine the gung metal being the hand sickle coming in to trim off all his wheat. So look at it. Is it good or is it bad? I will look at it in a positive manner, you see. It's because he has some bad habits, okay, and also he has some, I would say, past events that he needs to let go and release so that he can move on and make good use of what he has in the chart. So with the gung metal coming in here to clean up all the weights, I would say it's a good thing. So he just need to allow for that to happen so that he has better clarity of what he can do and how can manage his responsibility. So next, let's look at the current year, 2021. So in terms of a traditional master, this is what the master will say. Hoi xiang hoi. Heng xiang heng. Yeah. So what it means is just, it has a harm on a harm, punishment on a punishment, and you think about it, okay, I'm already so injured, so brutally beaten up, and this year comes with more harm to my way and more punishment for me. So, with just this sentence alone, you will feel like, oh shit, this year is going to be so damn bad year. How am I going to survive? Right? But what the master is trying to tell you is that in this year, 2021, you have the ox and the horse harm, you have the ox and the dog punishment, and then you have the zinc metal that comes in to further trim off your yi wood. So it's just like, when you're strapped to the chair and someone comes with a scissors to cut off your hair when you're unfeeling. When you're unfeeling, you want to cry, but then your cry doesn't have tears. You just feel so painful inside and you harbor it. But what if you allow the energy of the year to polish you in a manner to make you a better person? You will enjoy it, right? Just like when you go for a haircut. If you enjoy the haircut and you just tell the hairdresser how you want your hair to be cut, where you want it to be trimmed, how you want to look like, you will get a good outcome. So this is exactly the energy of the year that is coming to bring you to. Just enjoy it, allow that to happen, drive that change. Okay? So a lot of people, they feel the harm and punishment is because they are unwilling to accept the new ideas, advice, or to learn. So when they go against the energy, that's when bad things happen. When they don't feel good, they feel it's like, everyone is just targeting them and everyone is just trying to pull them down. In actual fact, they are the one who is pulling themselves down. So let's look into the profile, the details, yeah? So for 2021, can see the ox of 2021 brings a harm to the racing horse in his natal chart. At the same time, he's going through a horse luck pillar. The ox is also ramping into the horse in the luck pillar. Okay, and when this happens, yeah, your ox suddenly become, so fiery with a lot of energy, and it just ran on to the horse, and the horse, the running horse will just stop and look, and the horse will think, what have just happened? And it triggered the horse to start looking around, okay, to understand it's like what actually happened, what have ramped onto me, and so on. So this is exactly what it means, what this harm brings to the chart in 2021, to the current luck cycle, and to this individual. Okay, so I look at this as a wake-up call. So it's like, hey guy, you seriously need to wake up this year. So next we have the ox clashing with the goat. Okay, and this clash brings on, like, both parties are being stubborn, they don't want to talk, they are not seeing eye to eye, and it involves expenditure issue as well. So remember, in this current luck cycle, the horse luck cycle actually has a combination with the goat, and that actually distracted this man from focusing on the goal. So what is happening in 2021 with this clash is the bull just come in and ram onto the goat. It rams, the horse wraps onto the goat to wake them up, right? Then the goat will suddenly feel, oh, what's going on? So it seems like there's something that I need to change, but what is it do I need to change? So this is what it means by a clash. It's a change. And of course, with all this harm coming in, with the bull raging in so fiercely, it does cause some emotional imbalance. And we can see this with the Bing fire in the hour pillar combining with the sin metal in the luck pillar. So when we see this combination in the chart, it actually produces more water. When you have more water, it causes the individual to be, emotional, like feeling sad, depressed. And the other thing that the Bing fire and sin metal combination brings is the feelings of being betrayed, the feelings of being deceived. And what actually causes this feeling to build up in 2021 for this individual? It's because the horse has been racing all the way to the front. Okay, it's like galloping all the way with that tunnel vision. And suddenly we have this fierce big bull come and ramp on the horse. So the horse was just wake up and thought, what's going on? And then the fierce horse, the fierce, not the horse, the fierce bull comes and ramp onto the goat. So the goat wakes up. And this, it just seemed to be so chaotic, right? Everything seems to be happening in a pace, and then suddenly you have this disruption. So this is the thing that brought on to the emotion and the feeling of, being betrayed, being deceived, because there's just so much disruption around. And things just don't happen to be what it seems, what you have believed, and what you expected it to be, right? So this feeling of betrayal is just in you. And in this profile, it's because the inability of this man to understand what's going on, and it's rushing and charging in for something that he may not have understood. Even he may not have understood himself. I will put it this way. Right? So next, we have the ox having a punishment relationship with the dog in the our pillar. So when this punishment comes in, it also wakes up the dog and the dog started barking. So since the dog is in the hour pillar, it is like it's your thoughts. Okay, suddenly like your mind is yelling at you. Your mind is saying, hey dude, wake up, wake up. You know, you're not doing these things correctly. You've got to change. No, you've got to go out and so on. So this is the energy of this punishment that comes in. And it's all happening in your mind. Right? Then the next thing, we have the sin metal in this here, countering the two yi wood in the month and the day. So this countering is forcing you to be flexible. So imagine in this luck cycle, you have the hand sickle coming in to chop off your weight. And then in this particular year, there's this gentle scissors that's trimming all the leftovers, and I would say, you know, making it look neat, taking off all the unnecessary weeds that's coming up, poking out, okay, so that you have a polished life to make you look better. So this is the energy of 2021 to this profile. So a lot of people look at it, oh no, I've got a harm and so on, it's so bad. But if you understand what the energy is working on you, what the energy is bringing on you, you can actually make things work for you in your advantage. Just that this word, are you feeling or not? Are you open and are you accepting the energy? Okay. Let's look at the remedies. Okay, the suggested remedies for this man, 2021. So, you know, in 2021, he has the harm, the punishment, and so on. And internally in his chart, he has the bullying punishment. He also has that harm in his chart. So this year, he has the ox and horse harm, and also the horse and horse self-punishment, which really makes him a bit confused because he seemed to have a goal that he's charging towards so fearfully. And then it comes this angry bull and just ran him off, okay, his direction, his course. And he wakes up and he starts to think, okay, actually what's going on? So this is a year where he needs to slow down and to observe the changes in the surroundings and also to plan strategically for the next action before he charge on. Then we have the ox and dog punishment, the dog and goat destruction, where you have all these noises that's happening in his mind, barking at him, telling him to wake up, and just all these yellings that he's going through. So what he needs to do is to reassess his current commitment and also to align the commitment to his current capacity. Okay, there may be things on his plate which he doesn't have capacity for. That's where he needs to prioritize. Okay, and also share the load, right? He has friends over there. He has friends around him, and he has been helping friends around. So maybe perhaps he can share the load with the wife, share the load with the brothers, sisters, at work, share the load with his colleagues. Right, just don't take everything on himself. Then we have the ox and goat clash. And we can see this clash is actually affecting the spouse palace. And it indicates that the wife is involved. Okay, the wife is affected. So what he needs to do is to address his worries and his challenges openly with the spouse. because this year the spouse is awake and the spouse is just staring at him, wondering is like, what the hell are you doing, man? And it may seem that the clash may seem that the wife is unwilling to give place because both are equally stubborn. But I will put it this way, a lot of clashes happens. It's because of misunderstanding. It's because of assumption. So if you open it up, address it openly, honestly, I don't see any clash. Okay. So for a clash, it indicates a change. So in his case, in his profile, where the clash is affecting the spouse, it can mean that they may need to switch roles or change a bit of the roles, have a different approach in how they become husband and wife at home and so on. So perhaps, okay, the wife may have been a caretaker all this while at home. Maybe this year the wife can look at how to help the husband to manage financial, household financial, personal financial. Maybe look at areas where they can look at, cutting the cost, how you can save certain things, or maybe possibility of doing something online or part-time. Okay, so that brings a change to the relationship between the husband and the wife. And this will address the ox and goat clash. So this is how you can actually direct your actions to ride on the energy of the year. And don't be fearful, because the more fearful you are with the harm, the punishment, the clash, the more it will affect you negatively. Look at it from a positive side and assess what needs to be done. Okay, do what is within your control you that you can deliver. When you start worrying about things that you can't control and you don't take any action on things that you can control, the negativity will strike you just like a big blow. Okay, so I hope this has brought the insights of how we decode a chart and how we decode some of the things and so the readings into more clarity, so you can understand what it means when it comes to a clash and how does it impact a chart when the clash comes from the external luck pillar, the annual pillar, and how it impacts the individual. Okay? Anyone has any question? Are you still there? If you're still there, can you type a 1? Okay, good. Do you have any question? Any question for me? Question, 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 question. Yes, you can ask non-chart related. Health issue, okay? What do you want to ask about health issue? FFS and B. What is the part that he or she has to take care? Okay, so in this chart, he is a strong wood. The weak part is water, right? So water relates to organs like, the kidney and bladder. So when we say kidney, bladder, this man needs to look out and watch out for issues like gout, where he may have water retention or maybe kidney disease and so on. So it will be the issues relating to the kidneys and the bladder, and also water retention. Okay. What can we see from our chart if someone is always tired? Okay, if you look at the chart and the chart has a lot of output element and also wealth element, the individual will most probably be burnt out. So when we say tired, it could be multiple things that can cause someone to be tired. One is not having the energy, that is laziness, like he himself just doesn't want to move, right? So when the person doesn't want to move, the person will always say, oh, I'm tired. And that aspect we can see by the number of earth elements that is in the chart. Okay. FFS, your question over here, thanks for live. I didn't get your question. Maybe you want to reword it. Are you referring to the health issue where I explained that he needs to look out for the kidneys and also the urinary bladder and so on? Okay, yes, he will have that disturbance for life because now I'm reading it from his natal chart. So his water is very weak, and so he actually needs the water to fuel him. So that could be one part of the issue. Okay, but it doesn't mean that he will have kidney disease for life. It's just that he's prone to that. Okay. Any other question? Okay, if no question, I will share a bit more on the technical side. That is how we dissect a barter chart.